Welcome everyone to this year's Age UK Sutton Annual Review. My name's Jan Samuel. I'm the chair of Age UK Sutton. It's my great privilege to be chair of Age UK Sutton. So on behalf of us all here, welcome. We really appreciate you joining us. And for those watching on the filmed version, thank you for your interest in hearing about our work over the last year or so. We're currently in our 30th year. We were founded in 1991 as Age Concerned Sutton, which was a small charity just operating in the Sutton area. We've since become a borough-wide charity and in 2010 became called and known as Age UK Sutton. Our Chief Executive, Nicola, will share a bit more about that journey later in proceedings. We have a group of staff presenting today our work from the last year, 2020 to 2021. So it's the last year and a bit, and share some of what we have achieved in the current year, plus a few of our future plans. Nicola, our Chief Exec, will be speaking about our 30-year journey to here, and we'll be presenting 2 awards today. The first is the Joan Alexander Award for making Sutton a more age-friendly place. And there's a new award, the Martin Parker Award, and this is for an exceptional Age UK Sutton volunteer. So I'd like to ask our trustees maybe to just stand so that you can see who's on our board of trustees. That would be great. So we've got Norman, Kumar, Fidelma, Zoe and Tim. Thank you, you can sit down there. So if you wanted to have a chat with them or, when we get a chance to mingle later, please do. So I'd like to welcome our new trustees. So Fidelma and Zoe were appointed to our board at our AGM last week. So we're really looking forward to working with you as part of our board. And I wanted to thank outgoing trustees. So Vashkal Basak and Jill Perkins, they have served on the board for the past 3 years, and I just wanted to thank them publicly for their time, their commitment, their support and wisdom. It's truly valued, not just by board colleagues, but the whole team. Vashkal is a local resident, and he's really passionate about the cause for older people. So he'll be staying involved in our work in other ways, and we're grateful for this. So all of our trustees, thank you. So this is my first year as chair. I took over from Kate in our virtual event last year, and it's been a privilege. And together with the trustee and leadership team colleagues, we've grown stronger together. As highlighted last year, our vision was to grow our reach in support of building an age-friendly society. You'll hear from the team today how we have definitely grown, building on our current services and developing new ways to support older adults. Much of this work has been in partnership with our health and care organisation colleagues and voluntary sector colleagues. We've built new relationships and strengthened old ones. We feel very connected to our clients, patients, beneficiaries, and with our partners across the system in which we operate. Working with uncertainty during an ongoing pandemic, finding new ways to continue to serve our older folk whilst expanding services, including recruiting new team members, takes a lot of planning, time, consideration, and energy. This amazing team of staff and volunteers have demonstrated tremendous resilience, adaptability, commitment and teamwork, and we are hugely grateful to you all. I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of the Board of Trustees for their excellent work and ongoing commitment. I'm going to hand over to Simon and Kerry to start with, and they can take us through what we've been doing this year.
Hello, I'm Simon.
And I'm Kerry.
We want to tell you about our people, our staff, volunteers and wider community, and the impact they've made. Looking back over our 2020 to 2021 year, and this year too, we've welcomed many new people, staff and volunteers, as we've moved through one of the most challenging years in our history. During the last year, we saw the beginning and the evolution of the only global pandemic in living history. Everything changed for Age UK Sutton and our community, and we worked to respond along with partners to this life-changing event. The impact was and still is devastating, with older people particularly affected by the health risks and the wider effects of the COVID virus itself and the measures taken to try to keep everyone safe. We are really proud of the difference we made and the way our staff and volunteers have continued to adapt and learn so we can make Sutton a more age-friendly place for everyone. There is no denying that it was a really tough time, but we also learned, evolved and grew, and we are proud to say that Age UK Sutton is progressing through the end of our third decade stronger than ever and making a bigger difference than ever before.
So through the last year or so, Age UK Sutton has really grown. Since April 2020, we've created 13 new staff roles, providing new services for Sutton's residents and enabling Age UK Sutton to reach more people in need. My colleagues will tell you more about what we did and continue to do. Although our staff team has grown from 22 in March last year to 34 now, this pales in comparison to our wider community of people who deliver our vital work. Our Help at Home team is over 50 strong, and our workers are truly some of the heroes of the pandemic. Help at Home is a social enterprise which usually provides practical help from a consistent worker, supporting independence and well-being for hundreds of local people. During the COVID lockdowns, we redeployed these trained workers to support people who were shielding or who were medically vulnerable, developing in a matter of days a new, completely free service to deliver food, medication, and to perform doorstep welfare checks. We reached over 470 individuals, making over 1,200 deliveries during these lockdown periods. We also worked with the local pub, the Duke's Head in Wallington, and Sutton Community Farm to produce thousands of free, freshly made meals for residents struggling to get fresh food. These were distributed to older people in need and also shared with other charities, including Sutton Carers Centre and Home Start, to ensure that the whole community benefited.
As well as our core staff and our Help at Home team, Age UK Sutton also benefits from the commitment and skills of volunteers. During last year, a total of 143 people, mostly local residents, supported our work, providing thousands of hours of support, advice, friendship, activities and more. The ages range from 18 to 80, and the fact they have chosen to give their time freely to support our work is something words can't adequately express the value of, but I will try. In summer of 2020, over 50 new volunteers signed up to support our pandemic response efforts. Our Community Connections service supported over 600 isolated older people with friendship and support calls through thousands of phone and video calls. For many of these people, we were their only contact at a time of deep isolation. Our community support volunteers usually deliver face-to-face and telephone advice and information. Last year, they pivoted to friendship calls, continued delivering information and advice by phone, or were redeployed to other local charities and initiatives like the vaccine programme. In the current year, our Community Connections service has gone from strength to strength, supporting hundreds more people by phone and face-to-face, people who are isolated and lonely. Our volunteers have supported people to reconnect with their community with confidence and increasing independence by providing friendship and encouragement.
In summary, Age UK Sutton is a charity made up of people, staff, volunteers and our wider community. We're really proud of the work that we do and the way our people work together. We talk about how our community is stronger together, and we look forward to continuing to develop our partnerships and community into our next 30 years.
Hi, I'm Victoria.
And I'm Tarani.
We're going to tell you about the work that Age UK Sutton does to safeguard and improve older people's physical and mental health and well-being. Over the last year, we've continued to deliver vital services like Home from Hospital and the Sutton Uplift Mental Health Services, and also started a number of new services, including social prescribing, dementia wellbeing support, and very recently, a lung health pilot in partnership with the NHS. We are really proud to be a trusted provider of NHS and council commissioned services, and we love using our skills and knowledge to make people's lives better and more manageable, whilst reducing pressure on frontline medical and social services. It's well documented that the pressures on our health and care systems are greater than ever, and so working in partnership is something we really value, and we feel proud that here in Sutton, our system recognises that charities are expert providers who can contribute to a better system for everyone.
Over the last 12 months, our Home from Hospital service supported 453 people after a stay in hospital. Home from Hospital provides professional help with practical, emotional and wellbeing issues for older people who don't have adequate support networks. This service helps people get home from hospital faster and reduces the risk of being readmitted. In the past 8 months, we have seen the need for this service steadily increase. We are currently receiving almost double the referrals compared to the same period last year, supporting over 50 people a month with our small team. A sign of increasing need and our success in building trust and relationships with our health colleagues. We have also worked with Sutton Primary Care Networks to set up Sutton's first social prescribing service. This is a service for all adults, although around 60% of referrals are for people in later life. Social prescribing provides support and guidance to people who have gone to their GP or any other primary care service with a challenging issue that medicine alone cannot solve. Since the service opened in April 2020, we have supported 1,155 local people with issues varied as debt, housing, well-being, mental health, loneliness and domestic abuse. Our 6 link workers are skilled in helping people unpick their issues, set goals, and then connect to services and activities that can help them make a lasting change. We know that having this resource helps our local GPs by giving them simple, clear route to ensure their patients get support so they can focus on their medical practice. Another example of how working together in our systems helps everyone. When people have mental health needs, one option is to connect them with Sutton Uplift. This is a local mental health partnership with 2 other charities and the local NHS Mental Health Trust. We host a specialist worker who supports older people to manage mental health and well-being on their own terms, something that's more important now than ever. We supported over 100 older people last year, and we're pleased to share that we have now been asked to take part in a new NHS mental health transformation programme, expanding what's available to older people, which launches in 2022.
More recently, AGK Sutton was really pleased to have the opportunity to take the lead in the borough's dementia wellbeing service. Working in partnership with Sutton Carers Centre, we've begun providing information and advice and facilitated peer support for people living with dementia, as well as their carers. Living with dementia is a reality for more and more people, and the opportunity to meet and talk to others on the same journey can help with their mental health, confidence and knowledge. We've adapted this service to provide a blend of face-to-face and virtual interaction, and to be led by what participants tell us they want. As with all of our services, the voices of older people are what drive what we do. AGK Sutton has ambitions to offer more dementia support in coming years, working closely with partners like Alzheimer's Society and Admiral Nurses, and through the Borough's Dementia Action Alliance, which our CEO has just become the chair of. In summary, it's been a busy year or so for our health and wellbeing services. We are really grateful for the opportunity to work with so many partners and the chance to make a bigger difference to older people in Sutton. Like Kerry said, we really are stronger together.
Hello, I'm Gemma.
And I'm Emily.
We want to share a bit about the work we do to improve quality of life for people at all ages and stages of later life. We support people aged 50 plus, so as you can imagine, our work is wide-ranging. Over 50s are 40% of the total population. As in everything we do, we work hard to make sure that older people are the driving force of what we offer and how it is done. This is just one of the ways we strive to be an example of working in an age-friendly way. As lead partner for older people in the Sutton Plan, we're working closely with Sutton Council and other partners to listen and learn about what really matters for older people and how we can make lasting changes to later life across the borough. Last year, we focused on understanding what older people wanted and needed during and coming out of the COVID pandemic. What started as a series of live events to discuss key issues adapted into online events, telephone interviews and an in-depth survey of local older people. 236 people took part in the programme, and we're planning more events in 2022 to keep listening and learning. We've designed our In Conversations listening approach to welcome people from all walks of life and to support people to feel confident to talk, whatever their experience. This year, we're continuing our programme in partnership with Sutton Council and focusing on co-producing new pilot work with local older people. We're developing a home safety service, working with local businesses to pilot an age-friendly business award and working together with local organisations, including Sutton Volunteer Centre, to run a campaign to promote the diversity and value of later life volunteering. In building an age-friendly Sutton, we're keen to work with as many partners as we can, from local business, council and NHS, charities and more, because of course we are stronger together.
To improve quality of life and well-being for local older people, Age UK Sutton supports thousands of people every year with later life challenges. It might be a small life change or a life-changing incident, but whatever the situation, we are proud to be here when people need advice and help. Through our support in the 2020 to 2021 year, we helped local older people to secure almost £500,000 in financial savings and unclaimed benefits and entitlements. That's actually lower than in previous years, as the pandemic affected the application process, and many older people delayed applications whilst in lockdown. We began a catch-up programme in the spring, which still continues to reach people who delayed asking for help and whose situations have changed. As a result, we are expecting that by next March, we will have helped secure record levels of financial support and savings. We are proud of that, but it's also a sign of increasing need in the borough, something we are monitoring closely and working with partner charities to address. COVID has had a huge impact on older people, and last year, many of the people we support were isolating at home for months, often living in fear for their health and safety. With new vaccines, better understanding of the virus, and safety measures in place, some normality has returned for many. But for some, the isolation has carried on, and the long-term effects of many months with little social contact and not much activity has taken its toll. We are proud to have been here for older people and their family and carers through a really tough couple of years. With lots of changes and pivots, we have continued our social and exercise activities in the best way we can, keeping people active and connected, whilst also ensuring we are keeping people safe during the pandemic. Our Nordic walking groups carried on whenever restrictions allowed and started to meet virtually and communicate by virtual chat in between. It's been back up and running for a few months now, and we've recently expanded, doubling the number of walks each week, with the plans to develop more physical activity groups in 2022.
We have also found more ways for people to participate digitally, with new virtual groups and a try before you buy a tablet loan scheme, where users didn't even need internet access. The virtual groups continue, as although restrictions have eased, many members appreciate the flexibility and accessibility to conversation and interaction, including some participants with chronic illnesses and severe disabilities. A key priority at the moment is developing and expanding our programme, and also connecting local older people to the wealth of other activity available in Sutton. Across all of our services last year, we helped over 4,800 people. When you look at Sutton's population, that's about 1 in 7 of all the older people in our borough. Need for our support continues to grow. In the current 2021 to 2022 year that we're in, we're expecting to help local older people to secure well over £1 million more in their pockets and to have supported over 5,000 people with a wide range of issues. This will be the largest number of people Age UK Sutton has ever reached. Working with our funders and commissioners, our partners, staff and volunteers, and most importantly, older people across Sutton, we know we can meet the challenges ahead. We are always stronger together. We would now like to show you a short film, Andy's Story. Andy is one of the thousands of people Age UK Sutton has supported in the last year. We have asked him to share in his own words what this support has meant to him.
I am 70 years of age. I had to retire early because I had major surgery on my neck, because I have ended up having 8 operations on my spine. 5 in my lower back and 3 in my neck. But my back went again in the same area, and I ended up going into St George's, and they did a brilliant job. And about 2 weeks later, I thought, still don't feel that well, but it's probably the anaesthetic wearing off, you know. And a week later, I thought, still not right. And I remember walking into St George's A&E, giving this letter to somebody who probably put me in a chair or on a bed of some nature, and they woke me up 5 months later. I was in an induced coma for 110 days, I think it was. I had full-blown multi-organ sepsis, and I apparently nearly died twice over the Christmas period. They took me in at the end of October, and they woke me up in March. Well, they gave me the date that's probably best thick end of a week before I was going to come out, so I could prepare myself, as it were. And within a day or two of them giving me that date, a lady from the home service, whatever it was, I can't remember because I've been spaced out on so many drugs at the time, kindly came along and took all my details and what my needs may or may not be and how they could help. Within 24 hours of that happening, they turned up with all ancillary help and do you need this, do you that, would you like this, would you like that? I still have stuff which I still use at the flat. For 12 months I was walking around like a zombie because mechanically I had recovered, as it were, but mentally I was away with the fairies. At that particular time, my lady friend was doing a lot of the work, the housework and making sure I was up, fed, all that sort of thing, which was great. I felt a bit let down when my girlfriend left, went back to Russia, but that's life. We move on from that. But the Age UK Sutton people were still there. And it's like a safety net. Like a little cosy blanket you can pull around and say, oh, these people, they'll help me. And I get a phone call once a week or once a fortnight or whatever, how you getting on, anything else you need, whatever. Making all sorts of fantastic offers, which was totally unexpected from my point of view, and but very gratifying to know that there was somebody out there looking after you. Well, I didn't know about all these allowances you can get, because nobody tells you anything unless you ask, which I wasn't aware of, frankly, but this lovely lady called Tony turned up. Why they were asking the questions and the type of responses which would help my cause. N weeks later, I got a letter from it's the DWP, isn't it? Yeah. So yes, it helped me greatly from that point of view on a day-to-day basis. Another lady who's excellent called Sue, she's been holding my hand, as it were, since then, pointed me in again. How are you getting on with your council tax for Sutton? I said, oh, I'll give you 25% discounts and that's it. She said, is that all? I said, yeah. Well, you should be getting X, Y, and Z allowance. She duly organised the paperwork. Next thing you know, I get another letter from Sutton Council. Oh, right. We owe you a big rebate and you haven't got to pay any more council tax this year. Oh, sorry? Council giving me money? You know, it's so unusual. And it was nearly £700, knowing that these offices and the lady who work in it are here. It gives me a support system. If I have a query about anything, I can just make a phone call or whatever it takes just to reassure me about something, or they will happily say, I don't know, but I will find out for you. And that's been brilliant, because I wouldn't know where to start asking the questions, you know? They're all friendly, helpful, amiable people who want to help you. First time in my life was for nearly 20 years. I've actually had somebody help me. I've had to do everything myself since my divorce and all the rest of it. And you're lost, you're swimming around not knowing where to go, but just keep going, you'll be all right, you'll be all right, be all right. And it has been. Thank you so much. You have been a godsend, if that's the way you want to look at it, to making me look in the right direction for answers to problems and ensuring that somebody's there behind me to help me if I need help. Age UK Sutton would be your first port of call. and they will happily hold your hand, give you guidance, organise paperwork, whatever situation you're in and things that it entails, they'll happily help you out and do it.
And if any of you would like to know more about Andy's story, I'm really pleased that he's here today. So thank you so much for talking to us and for joining us. It's lovely to see you. So I'm going to talk a bit about our last 30 years. For those of you I don't know, I'm Nicola and I'm the Chief Executive of AGK Sutton. It's been an absolute privilege to lead AGK Sutton for nearly 5 years now, and at this moment in our history, our 30th birthday. So you've heard about our work of the last year or so, and I want to take you back for a few moments and highlight some of the key moments from the last 3 decades and share a bit of our history. On the 6th of September 1990, 3 local women, Iris Tomlin, Mary Gillam and Hilda Harding, met to discuss the formation of a new charity in Sutton so that the needs and rights of elderly people can be covered. They set out the rights that people in later life should have, including to choose where and how to live, to have good medical support and help from a social worker if needed, and to have choice and control over what happens in their life, to have help with forms, finances and home, to retain personal dignity, to receive skilled, sensitive support, to have their needs, beliefs and privacy accepted and respected, and to make informed choices and make their own decisions. On the 20th of June in 1991, the charity Age Concern Sutton was launched, with an office opening in Robin Hood Lane, just by the Gibson Road car park, if you know that area. By March 1992, the charity had a grand total of 2 staff and 13 volunteers, and an information and advice service for Sutton opened. Age Concern Sutton was involved in the local community care forum, a daycare working group, and a hospital liaison group. Questions to the newly launched information and advice service included such varied queries as, my cooker needs mending, can you help me? And, do I have to pay poll tax? It takes us back. We still see a huge range of questions about everything from practical help to money worries to support after a bereavement or illness. What hasn't changed is the skill of our staff and our volunteers, although there are a few more of both these days. Our first annual report included mention of worried relatives calling from elsewhere to arrange support for a local family member, and highlighted the steadily increasing number of people getting in touch for help as this new charity and its services became better known. In 1992, AGK Sutton opened England's first home share service. Home share saw local volunteers welcoming small groups of older people into their homes for a social afternoon and often a meal. It was targeted to people for whom a traditional day centre wasn't going to work, and it inspired many more similar services across the country and around the world. We still provide a wide range of opportunities for social interaction, continually learning from our experience and listening to what older people want. Through the 1990s, the charity grew and expanded its work. Lunch clubs, support to remain independent at home, and support with welfare benefits were all introduced. And by the millennium, we had 16 staff and the same number of volunteers. Services at this stage had grown to include a home security service, help making funeral plans, reflecting the evolving needs of local people and the creative response of our staff and board in meeting these needs. Our influencing work was growing too. Staff and trustees represented the charity and the voices of older people on over 17 boards and working groups by then. It was noted in the annual report of the year 2000 that this was important work to represent the interests of local older people. It was also noted that it was a large time commitment. I think we all know how that feels still. Similarly today, we're really proud to influence as part of boards governing integrated care, the frailty strategy, end-of-life care and A&E. And we're on steering groups including Admiral Nurses, community mental health transformation and social prescribing. And as Gemma mentioned, we're the lead for a key programme, Sutton's Age Friendly programme, and lead partner for older people for the Sutton Plan. We're also increasingly involved in the Dementia Action Alliance in Sutton. We really value what we call the Sutton Way, which is for charities that have expertise and insight to have an equal seat at the table in a fora for local decisions. And we're really pleased to be building on this strong legacy of involvement. In subsequent years, new services came thick and fast. In 2002, AGK Sutton's first foray into hospital discharge support began with a small scheme at St Helier Hospital. 33 people were supported in the first year. This has risen to almost 500 now. By 2004, a healthy living project was underway, providing exercise classes, a healthy eating cafe, and regular social events for people in some of Sutton's more deprived areas. In 2005, our Help at Home service launched, providing consistent, high-quality help like cleaning, admin, laundry, and other practical support to help people to stay independent at home, and often complementing a package of care just like it does now. We were one of a vanguard of local age concerns, testing out social enterprise at a time when it was a really new idea for charities like ours. This service has grown into our current offer, which provides a good value service with a consistent worker, with any surplus generating supporting our charity. This sort of activity is just one of the innovative ways that we ensure we are financially resilient and we can keep all of our other services free to our clients. Developments continued, and in 2020, after a merger of Age Concern and Help the Aged networks, we became a borough-wide charity, and our name changed to what it is now, Age UK Sutton. Those of you I spend work time with will know that we emphasise the Sutton part of the name. Yeah, I can see Nadine laughing. And this is because we are proudly independent and for Sutton. We're part of a network of well over 100 local Age UK charities, and we benefit greatly from being part of that large and diverse family. But our local focus and complete independence means we can be truly for Sutton and its people. This means we can develop services and direct our influencing to where it is really needed. It also means we're financially independent, which also means we have to raise all of our own funds. On an unrelated point, you can buy our beautiful Christmas cards and decorations later. In our most recent decade, we've kept evolving. Projects have come and gone, but we've learned from every one. We started providing IT coaching in 2010, building on this in a digital inclusion programme until 2018. And now we integrate this sort of support into whatever work we're doing, helping people to learn new skills, become more independent wherever possible, whilst also recognising that for some older people, our increasingly online world is really, really tough place to live. Social groups developed more and more in the last decade. Our Sing for Joy choir was established in 2012 and is still going strong. And we launched our first structured outreach programme in 2014. Again, we have built on all we've learned from these and subsequent projects. And we now work to embed outreach in our business as usual, working with local older people and communities to ensure that we reach people who are often forgotten or ignored, or who simply don't know where to go for help. In my almost 5 years in this role, I've had the honour and privilege of leading the best group of people I've ever worked with. As my colleagues have shared, we've grown a lot in the last few years, and this is down to the focus, resilience and sheer hard work of our volunteers, staff and board of trustees. As I've spoken, you've been seeing some images of the reports in many of their guises about Age UK Sutton. But this is really the most important image of all, one of some of our people. Their work and talent is what makes Age UK Sutton what it is. And their teamwork and spirit in sometimes incredibly hard circumstances, especially over the last couple of years, make me so proud every day. Our story continues, and I have no doubt that in 30 years from now, our future selves and successors will be celebrating another milestone. and perhaps looking back on what we've shared today. Thank you so much for being on this amazing journey with AGK Sutton. So I'm now going to move on to the penultimate item on today's agenda, which is the presentation of our 2 awards. So our first award is the Joan Alexander Award for making Sutton a more age-friendly place. Joan Alexander was one of AGK Sutton's founders, and after she passed away in 2017, we named a new award in her honour to celebrate exceptional individuals and organisations who've made a major contribution to making the Borough of Sutton an age-friendly place. This year's award goes to an organisation, a very special one that has for many years made a difference, and in the last 2 years has adapted and evolved to meet the needs of older people in our borough. Their work is a great exemplar of an age-friendly approach, supporting older people who are lonely and isolated, facing complex challenges or living with long-term health conditions, and working to ensure that our older people's skills, values and experience are recognised and respected. They do a wide variety of work in their community, ranging from organising exhibitions that tell Sutton's history, to social activities and events, to special activities to nurture creativity and well-being. They've also helped local older people's voices be heard, including supporting AGK Sutton's own age-friendly research programme by encouraging and enabling members to take part in our In Conversations listening initiative. Sutton is undoubtedly a more age-friendly place because of them. I'm really pleased to invite Marilyn Gordon-Jones, our president, one of our first volunteers and trustees, and first winner of the Joan Alexander Award, to present this award. So, Marilyn.
Right, thank you. Right, I'm very delighted to be asked. I was an original trustee all those years ago, but I don't think we have to keep on saying 30, please. Yeah. Joan Alexander was the second of our volunteers on board, and she remained all the rest of her life absolutely convinced that the work that Age Concern and then Age UK did was very valuable to older people, and she was a shining example. As a close personal friend, I do know that she would be very pleased with this award to make Age UK a Sutton-friendly borough. Have I got that wrong, haven't I? But yeah, age-friendly borough.
We all know what
And I'm absolutely delighted to give this award to Colin on behalf of South Sutton Hello. I know South Sutton Hello, and it's a very valuable club. It was very new and different when it was opened, and I think it is fantastic because it has provided a lot of fun, a lot of friendly relationships, and great support to a lot of older people in our borough. So thank you very much indeed, Colin. To you and your colleagues, and may the work go from strength to strength.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. So our second award is a new one, and this is the Martin Parker Award for Exceptional Volunteering. Martin was a volunteer with AGK Sutton for several years in our Community Connectors service, making hundreds of calls to lonely and isolated older people. Martin was known for his warmth, kindness, and ability to engage with a wide range of people, providing support, comfort, and a listening ear when it was really needed. Sadly, Martin died last year after a cancer diagnosis. He was well known locally, especially in Wallington, and documented his cancer journey through a Facebook blog and other social media. Lots of locals knew of him one way or another as a real local character who shared his story to make a difference for others. He was an inspiring member of our community and a volunteer who exemplified the value of the impact of choosing to give back. To honour Martin, we've decided to launch a new award for AGK Sutton's Volunteer of the Year. This award goes to a volunteer at AGK Sutton who's made a noteworthy contribution to the charity's work through their volunteering activity. And this first time that we're making this award, it's going to an AGK Sutton volunteer who's made an enormous difference. This inaugural recipient is a long-standing volunteer in our community support team who joined AGK Sutton when she moved to the area. She's volunteered with us for almost 14 years, so she actually predates every single member of staff, although not all of our volunteers. She's provided clear, impartial information and support to local older people facing a range of life-changing issues, channeling her passion for justice and fairness into her volunteering activity. She's adapted how she works to meet the changing needs of people who come to AGK Sutton and continues to be engaged with the charity's wider work as well. We all enjoy a conversation when we see her. There is always something important to talk about, be it digital inclusion, access to healthcare, or the current biscuit offer in the office. Her work has contributed to AGK Sutton supporting thousands of older people to secure millions of pounds in entitlements that they may otherwise not have known about, supporting people to live healthier, happier and safer lives. She's a well-deserving first winner of this award, and I'm very pleased to ask Nadine Wyatt, who's the Senior Engagement Manager for Sutton from the Southwest London Clinical Commissioning Group. Oh, that's really hard to say. She works for the NHS. And I'm going to invite Nadine to present this award.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's amazing just hearing about this person and how important volunteers have been, especially in the last couple of years that Nicola has been saying, is just close to none. Because I don't think people sometimes really understand that the extra bit that they give, no matter what it is, whether it's an hour, a day, half a day, and it sounds like this award that's going to the next person that Nicola will be announcing soon is absolutely well deserved.
So if you want to announce the winner.
So the winner for this award is Marian Wingrove. You weren't expecting that, were you? Were you expecting it from Nicholas? My pleasure. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Oh.
I would love you to say a few words, Marion. Please do.
I joined Age Concern, as it was then, as a volunteer in March 2008 because I'd recently retired. I needed something useful to do, and Age Concern Merton had helped me very much when my 98-year-old mother came to live with me. I've never looked back, and the last few years have perhaps been the most enjoyable. I am now an advisor, and people see me largely by appointment. A lot of the people that come through our doors come because they haven't got access to digital facilities. And it's a bee in my bonnet. Also, I do a lot of help getting people to access benefits. Now, some sections of the media would have you believe that benefit claimants are scroungers. That is absolutely not true. In all my years here, I've met just 3 people who I thought were trying to play the system. And people come in almost apologetic, saying they've never claimed before, but now they need help. And I've also learnt that anybody can end up on benefits. All it needs is losing your job, having a stroke, having a relationship breakdown, or a pandemic. And our benefit system in Britain was described by a UN rapporteur as not only cruel, but designed to be cruel. And it has become increasingly difficult. Universal credit is by digital application only. If you're of working age and that goes up to something like 66 now, you will face an assessment before you can claim disability benefits by someone who doesn't know you from Adam and is probably facing targets to keep you off benefits. Age UK, on the other hand, has targets to get people on benefits that they're entitled to. And I am very, very proud to be a small part of the team of Age UK Sutton. Thank you.